Looking at LASCO C3, and these are just some of the new M flares that have been slung at Earth today. We're going to take a look at those, and we're going to talk about yesterday's CMEs that have turned into a Cannibal CME already. NOAA warning, extreme Cannibal CME alert inbound. A series of M-class solar flares over the weekend hurled multiple coronal mass ejections towards Earth, as many as 4 or 5 at the time of this statement, but since then the statement has been updated. We have had several additional strong M-class solar flares that have been Earth-directed, including an M7.7 solar flare and an M7.6 solar flare. These two additional M-class solar flares, seen here on LASCO C3, along with several other smaller M-class solar flares that were also Earth-directed and stayed in M-class solar flare territory for over 5 hours. Not to mention the M9.92 solar flare we had earlier this morning are all inbound. At this point, no complete models are available of this extraordinary event. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an unheard of event scheduled for the 30th and 31st of July. And remember, we still have not had the complex sunspot group that generated the X14 solar flare become Earth-facing, which will occur within the next 3 to 4 days. Now, these are yesterday's M flares, and out of that, both NASA and NOAA predict a Cannibal CME that they say has already joined together. We did see that on NASA's ISWA spiral last night, but it's blank right now. So, these flares we were already dealing with. After that, we got a 9.92 solar flare, followed by another smaller solar flare, and we had a short break there. After that, we had another M-class solar flare that popped out at, I believe, about a 7.7. That is correct. And you can see that it lasted from 10:30 on to 3:30. And that is your 5 hours of constant M flaring. Nothing we've really ever seen before. Now that was followed up, and I don't know if I mentioned it, I believe it's a 2.5 solar flare. I think it was a little stronger than that. We'll see in just a second. A 2.62 M-class solar flare. Again, then we had a little break, and we've already had another M-class solar flare. So, I'm not going to try to guesstimate, but it looks like we had five M-class solar flares yesterday, 6, 7, and then this long-term event that they count as 2 solar flares, 8, 9, and we've just had another M-class solar flare, making it the 10th M-class solar flare, Earth-directed, within the last 20 hours. Unheard of. All right, here we go. An M9.92 popped off early this morning, and we see it, well, right here is an M9.7. Now, before that, they're claiming that an M7.7 popped off. We'll have to take another look at that. That adds to the count. We also had then the smaller M1.5 that we discussed. And these are coming from 3 different sunspots, which we will go over. All of them are Earth-facing. All right, then we had a short break. We're running, what, a C4.41 baseline. We almost were running an M baseline, I guess, there for 5 hours. Then we had an M7.6 that I showed y'all that started the 5-hour period of constant M flares. And the bump in the road on the way to the end was an M2.6 solar flare. These were sympathetic solar flares coming from 2 different sunspots. It's been an incredible day. That could mean as many as 11 coronal mass ejections are inbound. And they say the first coronal mass ejection is already a Cannibal CME, and it will clear the way, quote unquote, for the following CMEs. Again, there has been no model made. This would be one of the most complex models ever. We still have only a 10% chance of X flare, which I believe is laughable. Only a 60% chance of M-class solar flare. Although we've had 11 of them.
Let me explain it to you. You know that there's a new species coming in. You know that the new species, you call them aliens. But the aliens been here for thousands of years since we came from the Orion galaxy. Orion and Osiris. Osiris falls into a cocoon or gets shut up in a box into a physical body. Another story. But it's now been millions of years, and now we're replicating into new species. But we need to discuss this. And how can we discuss this new species, this new alien species coming, and we can't call it African Americans. We can't call it black people. We can't call it Africans. We can't call it Caribbean. You see, we have to call it the healer cell, the healer research. And that's the way they can get away with discussing stuff about you.
And nobody's saying shit.
Those are the angels.
Angels. Oh, they're your ass whipping. That's what that is.
Why isn't anyone... Shh, shh.
All y'all that lived off of fucking so-called black people. All y'all that practice
Dude, they're moving
racism.
around.
All y'all that practice racism against black people who joined this totalitarian system. Fuck you.
Sarah, get out here.
Call Sarah. They meteor. That's what they are, meteor. Project Blueprint. Matter of fact, they fucking flares. Military flares. That's what they are. All y'all that turned y'all nose up to so-called black people. Brother, we were on drugs. Call my brothers and sisters whatever the fuck you want. Whatever you want. Call them niggas.
Sarah, get out here.
Say, look at these niggas. That's what you do. Why change up now? Huh? What's the reason for loving or wanting to be black now all of a fucking sudden? Huh? Why? Let me show you why, Paul. This is why. You see that magnetic field? You see that dome? You see that dome? You see that dome wobbling? You see that? Woo! Oh! Look at this head. Look at the date. Woo! Look at that, baby. Huh? The last 24 hours. Right now, going backwards 24 hours. Oh, look how the dome pressed all the way. Did you see how the dome pressed all the way, how it squeezed all the way down from that blast? From the daytime side of the sun? Watch. Just look at it. Look. Oh!
We be signing this Donald Trump shit that they say he got shot by that kids, right? So listen, check this out. What's happening right now is that the scientists or the shadow government, they know that there is a solar flare, a great solar flare that's coming. And they say that he might shut down everything. And they say that this solar flare that's coming might be upgrading the human, so-called the goddess that's here, so-called the God, which is their DNA gonna be upgraded, which is they gonna get their so-called power. So my people, you gotta pay attention. This is the time. So what they're trying to do is that they're trying to match the energy that's coming. This is happening right now, but nobody are talking about how this so-called great solar flare that's coming, okay?
Heart blast activation. Supernova DEA. This is not what you think. You will absorb your darkest origins of the chaos energy, the true energy of source. Certain color auras will emit darkness and light to you through gateway channels. You will become your imagination. You will become your darkest function of your angel, aka angles. The pure you blend this attachment, the faster it will take hold of you. The re-education of ancient tombs was lost. Those very deities, ancient people, are those who wall amongst the valleys of the kings.
So you know how we got spy birds, spiritual spy birds, and we got physical spy birds? Well, the physical spy birds work by electronic. The spiritual spy birds are different. These are interceptors. They intercept your frequency. So if you think in a certain kind of way, and you continuously thinking that way, these spiritual diverters will come and they'll spot you out and spy on you and see what you're doing. I had one happen to me today. I was thinking about something, and then all of a sudden this pigeon come and land on the damn electrical wire and sits there and looks at me and shit. It's just one fucking pigeon by himself. Ain't a whole bunch of pigeons, it's one. And it just sat there and looked at me. You feel what I'm saying? And when I telepathically told him, I said, if you here for me, if you're not here for me, get the fuck on. It left. I said, wow. And it made me think about earlier when I was talking about angles, how our frequencies collide with angles. So if you get diverted from your path, and you can get diverted by energy just by the way the energy is on the earth, and you can get diverted for just a few seconds, and then you got to get put right back online. You feel what I'm saying? Just like Wi-Fi. You feel what I'm saying? Just like your phone. Same shit. We have these devices, and certain frequencies come through these devices. So those certain frequencies be interacting with our spiritual path as well. So this is why none of this stuff is good for us. None of this stuff pays off that we dealing with here. Everything here is a fucking distraction. And people need to realize that. Once you realize that you got nothing but distractions around you, you got to start moving a different way. That's why I've been downsizing myself and getting rid of stuff. You feel what I'm saying? I got rid of a lot of stuff that I did have that had a lot of frequencies in it. So I got a few things now. I hope ain't got a whole bunch of frequency in it, but I know that it does. And then we'll be on these websites and these social media pages, and we be dealing with all these different energies, these different people, and people carry all types of baggage with them. So you got to realize what type of baggage people got on this earth, what type of entities is on this earth that is basically following you, that is basically observing you, that's basically stealing your energy. You feel what I'm saying? Every chance they get. If they get a chance to steal your energy, they will. Just like these relationships. You know what I'm saying? These relationships that people embark on. You got to be very careful the company you keep. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's coming down to the wire. And these transformations is showing more that this is obvious. You feel what I'm saying? You got to stay in alignment. You got to stay on the right angle. Your heart depends on it. Peace. Ian.